The Boneman, Part 5. The next few days Nolan spent wondering what the fabled weekend would have in store. He wanted the time to go by as slow as anyone could allow. In his mind, it would be the last time they were together. He worked hard to get through each day without jumping at every foreseeable chance to question Sherman on his plans for the story. Sherman being usually exhausted most nights from work and school, as well as the time spent with Angie. Though Digger and Josh ask him about any juicy details he may have obtained. Sherman is tight-lipped on the whole scenario, despite the begging from the others for the even snippets of information. By the middle of the week, they were all dreading the game except for Nolan. Remind me why I am going to let the mental torture and absolute dismemberment of my character happen again. Nolan sprouts a strange means of opening conversation. He chews on a piece of string bean as if it were dry straw from the field. The usual dinner time routine, the Thursday before the grand weekend. Sherman scratches his cheek and smiles. Come on, bro. It'll be fun. As he follows up the boy with a mouthful of food. Angie stops her ritual dishwashing, wiping her hands on a weathered towel. Yeah, and do I get to bring my character back since she survived? Sherman tilts his head, washing the last bits of food down with water. You still have that old sheet? Angie laughs softly. Nolan has them all in folders, like seriously, he has them all color-coded. She giggles at the idea and Nolan hangs his head. Wow, around here we can call that being anal, Sherman says with sarcasm, a hint of sage-like tones. If anyone knows anal, it's you, bro. Nolan taking the last word and last laugh, only to have Angie steal a bit of thunder. God knows I haven't gotten the chance to learn. Kissing Nolan on the cheek. Oh, you bitch. Nolan throws a soggy string bean at her. She dances out of the way. Sherman had grown silent, sitting at the round table with a glass of cold water in his hand. He swirls the basin, circling with a distant grin. Stoic, in a point of fact, as he watched Nolan chase Angie around the kitchen, hooting and laughing. The house seems brighter, more lively than it had in a very long time, the childish games making for a reprise from the dismal, mournful manner of which they had grown accustomed. Something about his look made the two of them pause. He had drifted into a daydream that brought a facade of bliss. Nolan uses the opportunity to drop a string bean down the front of Angie's shirt, making her squeal out loud. The chase resumes, with Nolan being the one to flee. Okay, I'm sorry, please stop, Nolan says with his hands out in defense as Angie looks of loving angst. She dangles the rogue bean, ready to melee him at a moment's notice. Okay, but I owe you. Nolan took it upon himself, the day before they were to embark on their story, to do as much work for the old farmer as he could, his toil in the loft, pitching hay bales and forking out loose golden rods down into the muck-covered pens below. He didn't mind the funk of the heat or dusty atmosphere. The gloom helped with his ideas. His own stories. Today, however, it is darker than usual, with the sun being blotted out by terribly thick black-gray clouds. The humidity is also exhausting, as it pulls on his shoulders like hands of solid stone. The loft has little to no ventilation, but the moisture weighed on the dust, keeping it low around his calves. What squared beams of light managed in through the lofty pointed ceiling came in swirling waves of old copper gold. In front of his mind is a nasty omen of feral fog, ethereal perhaps, just keeping the other side of the rolling mounds of bales out of sight. Nolan could easily imagine the figure in the dirty clothes sagging from the frame, staring with black, emotionless eyes. A vicious indifference, except for the air about it. The static and the flow that makes Nolan's hair stand on end. He could flee from that moment, only igniting the electricity of the chase. He could picture every scent and scratch in the malicious cleaver, from scraping bone, tiny pot marks filled with meat rotting, and clumps of hair that refuse to turn loose. Nolan stands frozen in that thought, with each detail instigating paralysis. The fabricated creature with small bones of birds and other prey animals sewn through the blue-black Carhartt coat, larger bones sharpened into strange skewers, jabbed and cross-stitching, finding flesh in the process. That face more malevolent than ever, golden smoke-washed teeth, dropping yellow along the full white cheekbones that are the mismatched, tugged tightly together, the upper mandibles with strips of peach-colored leather. Sure as anything it was human leather. Hunks of meat cling to the lower mandible made from the mouth of a deer. The strange points jut awkwardly, casting deep shade on the mouth behind them. Mouth that's moving sympathetically like a chewing motion. The man beneath is thin and lanky. All egg, as Nolan's father would say. That thought and memory pulls him from his daydream. Inhaling deeply, he wipes his face, returning to his chore. "Hey!" Angie calls from the ladder leading to the loft, Nolan leaping from his skin. "Did I scare you?" She giggles, but stops quickly, seeing his face, eyes puffy and red. Babe, what's wrong?" She meekly approaches him with loving concern in her tone. "Just a thought. Just got me," he says quietly, following his dry voice with a splash of water. "Dad?" Angie asks, reassuring herself of the answer. Nolan only nods, sitting down on a stack of bales. She smiles softly and straddles his legs, sitting on his lap, throwing her arms around his neck. She kisses him with a solid plant on her lips, a far cry from the usual quick, sloppy kisses. Nolan presses back, hard clutching around the waist. She leans in. "I got my pills," she whispers in his ear. "You sure?" Angie nods. "Yeah,